Hey guys, Coach Gaglione here. This is another edition of our Gags Goals updates. We're getting closer and closer to game day. If this is your first time stopping by, I'm Coach Gaglione. This is Gaglione Strength. And this vlog is chronicling my weight loss journey. I've been as heavy as 340 pounds. For this particular update, my lightest weight in so far has been 212. So really excited about that. I've been kind of sitting at 215-ish in the morning, which is pretty cool. So I'm very, very close to my goal. I'm in striking distance of the 198 class, and that's kind of my goal for my next competition, which will be Autumn Apocalypse, and I'll be competing on November 10th. So about 4 weeks out or so. By the time you guys watch this, it'll be a little bit sooner. So definitely chomping at the bit. This has been a goal that has been kind of I've been working towards for the past like 3.5 years, and things are. I'm definitely feeling the pressure, but I'm also feeling excited just to kind of achieve that kind of milestone, because it's been a long-term thing. I also kind of want to show people what's possible if you kind of stick with it and you're consistent and you have a good plan. And although I don't really advocate doing what I'm doing, I don't think necessarily chasing performance and weight loss and body composition changes simultaneously is the best way to go. But by establishing totals in different weight classes, it's allowing me to stay on track. And my number one goal is to be kind of strong, healthy, and lean. And most importantly, just kind of improve my overall health. So that's been kind of the goal since like day one. And I've been able to kind of just have a lot of fun training in the process. So I mentioned before, 212 body weight, had a huge reduction in my body fat and my fat mass. The in-body also recorded I'm about 17% body fat. Again, this is nothing earth-shattering, but I was at my worst point, I was over like 40%. So over the past 3.5 years, I've kind of slashed my body fat in half. And one of my short-term goals by the end of this year, I'd like to get my body fat down to like 15%. So I'm kind of knocking on the door for that. So really excited. So that's kind of like where I want to be. As far as when it comes to the meat, I'm just trying to kind of maintain my body weight for now. So I'm not going to really make too many drastic changes in terms of the diet. The only main difference is my activity level is going to start to get lower. Obviously, my volume is dropping. I'm not going to be training as frequently going into the meet. I only have a couple of heavy sessions left. So those are kind of some things to consider kind of moving forward. And I might as well just kind of get into the training. So for this particular week, I really want to kind of push a little bit of my raw-ish strength. So kind of using more minimal equipment, if any equipment at all, just to kind of make sure I'm stimulated and have enough kind of a raw base to kind of hit my goals for the meet. Because again, I am competing equipped. This will be my first equipped meet at 198. So for this squat workout, it was also our first study we conducted at Gaglione Strength. We're doing an elbow study, which was cool because one of my former interns, Chris Kelly, he's working with the staff and faculty at NYIT, and they're trying to show the efficacy of like floss bands in reducing pain, elbow pain, specifically with weightlifters. So myself and a bunch of our lifters kind of participated in the study. It's still an ongoing thing, but it's cool because a lot of times with these studies, you don't always get like the best test subjects. You kind of get random people off the street. And the fact that we're actually using powerlifters for this study, people that are kind of on a similar program, lifting with a similar frequency, there's a lot more kind of controlled variables and it's just better data in general. So really excited to kind of give back and kind of help out the strength community in that way. So you could see him in some of the videos. He was back spotting me, which was cool. And it always is nice to see our former interns actually still working in the field. So if anyone's interested, if you guys are watching this and maybe you do want to participate in an internship at Gaglione Strength, these are unpaid internships, but the experience and the knowledge you'll learn is definitely of high value. You can shoot us an email with your resume and cover letter to gaglionestrength@gmail.com. We're accepting interns now for the winter intersession, as well as summer of 2020. So the winter intersession of 2019-2020, as well as the summer of 2020. So shoot us an email if you're interested in the intern program. I figured I'd just throw that out there. As far as the workout itself, I use my magic underwear, which is like our Spud briefs for this particular day, which essentially it's giving me a little bit of carryover in the squat, minimal carryover in the deadlift, but it does keep your hips warm and allows you to squat a little bit wider than you normally would raw. So I really like the Spud briefs for just more to kind of keep the groove more similar to what I'd be in my full squat suit. So although it's not giving me a lot of carryover, I did worked up to, I did a bunch of sets. I think I did the sets at like 520, 570. I did doing all doubles. I did 610 for a double, and that felt really comfortable. So I ended up doing a 660 for a pretty solid double, which was a PR with just wraps and, like I said, the spud briefs. So that's, almost raw with the wraps, but not quite. But I was pretty happy just to kind of handle that, especially being that, like I said, that's a triple body weight squat for me, without wearing a squat suit, without wearing multiply briefs. So that was pretty cool. That felt good. I did some belt squats with between 495 and 545, which I don't think we have any footage of, but that was a pretty successful workout. I was happy about that. For benching, this was a successful day. Just kind of playing with a couple different shirts that I have because since I've lost so much weight, I don't really have anything that fits me properly. I'm still dealing with some shoulder issues. I've been working with Dr. Albury. I've been getting some massage work done. I've been doing everything I can to kind of get my shoulder healthy. But I've also just been very cautious. I'm not really anything that's over like 135. I've been putting a slingshot on. I've been putting a bench freak band on. I've been, just trying to make sure that I'm focusing more on the technique than I am trying to build strength, because I don't want to really compensate. So what I have been doing is I have been doing some things like overhead presses and incline presses, so I can still strain a little bit, but it's far enough away from the bench pattern, it's not going to throw my technique off. So if I am going to strain at all, it's going to be with like movements that are not related to the bench press. So that's just kind of my thought process there. So I still want to try to strain and get my shoulders and my chest and my triceps a little stronger, but I'm not trying to really strain right now too much in the bench. I really want to focus more on technical mastery for that, because that's going to allow me to be more successful and go more white light to the contest. So I believe I did 315 for a double. I used like a single ply, I think Phenom for that, and I did 345 as well with a single ply shirt. And then I wore my multi-ply shirt with 375, again with nothing earth shattering, but it's the most I've done. It felt pretty good. If I could hit something into and for frame of reference, my shoulder was hurt last meet as well. I only benched 415, so if I could bench something close to that or slightly above, that'd be pretty darn good, especially in the lower weight class. So after that, I mentioned before, I did some overhead pressing with 135. I supersetted that with some steel rows with 215. That felt pretty good. So that was my bench day. I was happy to, like I said, 375 might be a warm-up, it might be an opener, I don't know. But it felt good. It was a clean lift. So even though I've got my shoulders kind of holding up pretty good, so happy about that. Moving into the deadlift, kind of doing more of like a circa max thing. So what I like to do before I take my heaviest lifts, I used to like to do like a lot of band tension the week before. I'll be doing a similar thing with squats, which you guys will see next week. But for deadlifts, we use the blue bands, which is the strongest bands that we have. There are stronger bands out there, like there's Godzilla bands, all this stuff. But traditionally, in the jump stretch family, the blue bands is the strong band. That's the strongest band tension. How much band tension? It's a blue band. I don't know, but it's felt like it was a lot. So I worked up in my loose suit on this particular day, so I just wanted to practice the groove. I started off in just my briefs, and then again I added a loose suit. But I did a couple of doubles, and then I worked up to 405, 455, and a top set of 495. A couple of weeks before, I did a similar weight, but with just the green band. So the fact I did the same weight with more band tension is a good sign. I don't have footage for this, but I did a block party. So I did one set of 8 with 495, which was challenging. That was raw, but that's a good indication that my deadlift strength is pretty good right now. So that was the deadlift workout for today. And then I did, for my fourth bench workout, it's been, like I said, I mentioned before, I've been doing some incline pressing, just trying to do some like sub-max pull-ups, just trying to get some blood in my shoulders and just kind of feel good. So kind of in the home stretch right now. You'll see next week we're going to do a little bit of like a circa max-ish kind of, and when we say circa max, it's around a max. So we're going to be doing some banded squats, we're going to do some chains on the bench press, you'll see next week. And then also have my heaviest deadlifts next week, which is cool. So heaviest deadlifts next week, and then the week after that will be my heaviest squats. And then for bench press, it's kind of up in the air, but I'm just trying to work up to like an opener or something. And I might get my shirt 1 to 2 more times, depending on how that goes. But there'll only be only a couple heavy squat workouts left, only one heavy deadlift workout left. So it's really crunch time right now. So I really appreciate you guys watching. If you guys want to help support the program, and you guys like the content, please check out the links below, right here. You can get some coaching, you can buy a book. There's many different ways to support. You can tell a friend about this channel. Every little bit helps and helps spread the message of strength. So thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate your support and following me along my journey. It's almost, the road to 198 is almost over. So thank you guys for tuning in. And until next time, stay strong, and we'll see you soon.